Hello and welcome back to the Media Box. I'm Charles Amponsa. We're at the Congress of Local and Regional Authorities at the Council of Europe. Now we're talking about local democracy in Armenia. And joining me is Nigel MERMAGEN, Liberal Democrat councillor in the United Kingdom, particularly in Somerset. Welcome along. Welcome back, Nigel.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now we're talking about local democracy in Armenia. A recent report has been published and presented on that subject. What were the key findings?
Yes, well, this report was in fact the first report on Armenia for 10 years, which is a longer period than usual. So there were quite a lot of things to report. There's been a lot of positive progress in Armenia in implementing the provisions of the Charter, and also particularly in increasing citizen participation. There are other areas where things have moved more slowly, particularly questions of reform of the territorial administration. Armenia has a huge number of very small municipalities, 900 plus in what is really quite a small country of only population of only 3 million. And apart from the city of Yerevan, where a law was passed a few years ago to reform the administration in Yerevan, the capital city, the rest of the country has not been reformed, and there is still a lot of work to be done there, and that we emphasized in our report.
Having said that then, what were the main recommendations to the Armenian authorities?
Well, we recommended that, first of all, that issue which I've just mentioned, that reform of the local government structure was something that should be done sooner rather than later, and that, if possible, there shouldn't be too much further delay in bringing forward that reform. As in any other country, there's always quite a lot of local resistance to any kind of changes in local government, both from the people themselves, who often have a strong feeling for their own localities, and also, I must say, speaking as a local government politician, from among politicians who perhaps in some cases feel that their jobs may be on the line if reform takes place.
Now, you've been monitoring the state of local and regional democracy in several countries, several member states, and you've also been a long time election observer as well. How do you see the complementarity between those two roles?
Yes, that's true. I started off when I first joined the Congress about 8 years ago, monitoring elections. My first one was in Kosovo, 2007, which was a monumental exercise with thousands of observers, and the Congress, I think, sent 50 alone from here. Since then, I've been involved in rather smaller operations, but yes, there is a complementarity between the two. I seem to have moved on now to doing the monitoring reports. I think the difference is that in an election, you're pinpointing an event and talking about that event and how it's handled and its relationship to other factors in the democratic structure of the country. In a monitoring report, you're going in much more depth into the pluses and minuses, the problems that exist in any country in implementing local democracy, and so it does follow, I think, naturally from the election monitoring. The elections are just one-off events in the whole process.
What's next for you?
I don't know. There's a couple of interesting elections coming up. One in Ukraine next month, I think it is, or in May. And another one in...
Presumably they'll be watched very closely, given the situation in Ukraine.
Yes, that'll be a very important one indeed. One which I think definitely will be participating in is to Georgia in June, where they have important local elections. They've introduced a new law which affects local government. And I'm, as well as being rapporteur for Armenia, I'm also one of the rapporteurs for Georgia. So I expect to be in Georgia on the 15th of June when they have their local elections, the first ones under the new law.
Sounds like you've got an awful lot on your plate. Nigel MERMAGEN, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
That's it from us at the Media Box. Join us again soon when we'll have more. Goodbye.